Hello. Again, this is Dr. Keith Henry with another quick wellness news nugget. Hope you're doing fine today. This is September the 30th, last day of September. And I'm going to start off today with an article that was published on the 27th. Again, if you haven't listened to me before, I do pick an article that's come out within this last 7 days, sometimes on that very day, and I give my perspective on it as a natural practitioner. I'm a naturopathic doctor, but just give my perspective on it, my commentary, quick commentary, and this article is from naturalhealth365.com, and it's entitled "Exercise Positively Influences Over 4,000 Genes and a Call to Action." Again, exercise, as most of you know, is essential, it's crucial if you want to have good health. And the article goes on it starts off by saying, this is a wake-up call for all Americans. The latest research put out by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Health Statistics, NCHS, claims that only 23% of Americans get enough exercise. That means that 77% of the adult population is not exercising enough. And the article says further, and you know what's really scary about this statistic? The federal guidelines are only set at 2.5 hours per week of physical activity. So it's amazing if their guidelines are based on, or if the study is based on Americans not getting the 2.5 hours per week of physical activity, 77% are not, only 23% are getting that or more, then 2.5 hours per week of physical activity is almost nothing. I mean, there's 24 hours in a day, and you're only talking about 2.5 hours per week. That is minuscule. The article goes on to say further, by the way, for our children, it's far worse thanks to wireless technology and all these computer gadgets, which have kids spending around 7 hours per day on computer screens, cell phones, and TVs. And the article points out how a lack of exercise not only affects physical fitness and weight, but it may also affect a person's longevity and risk of chronic degenerative diseases like cancer. This is probably pretty well, if you were listening to me, if you're into health, or even if you're not really into health, you know that this is pretty common knowledge with regard to exercise. Exercise helps your blood to circulate. Circulation is the key to good health and pure blood and good circulation. The article says researchers have long been trying to understand the connection between exercise and disease risk. It's a study from Sweden's Karolinska Institute, however, is painting a bigger picture, revealing that the secret may be in human DNA, specifically the molecules located inside of genes. And then it goes on to talk about epigenetics. It's something I mentioned on here before. It says the study reveals that regular exercise has a direct and positive influence on more than 4,000 genes, and inactivity has a negative effect on those same genes. So basically, you can have a positive effect, it says, on more than 4,000 genes by just exercising, or by refusing to exercise or failing to exercise, you're going to have a negative effect on those same genes. It says the research highlights the significance of epigenetic methylation, which is really quite interesting. It says epigenetics help modulate processes within the body. I've talked about that, how epigenetics literally means above the gene. It's the ability to, through exercise, through diet, through herbs, etc., can actually help switch on or off certain genes or the expression of those genes. It says while the genes in the DNA sequence are fixed, the epigenetic modifications within them are capable of undergoing temporary changes via a process known as methylation. During methylation, it says additional molecules may be added to an existing group or some may be taken away. Researchers at the Karolinska Institute study epigenetic methylation in healthy adults before and after completing a 3-month endurance training program. They followed 23 healthy young adults who were asked to participate in 45 minutes of one-leg cycling for 4 times per week. The researchers used the inactive leg as a control and took leg muscle biopsies to evaluate epigenetic methylation that occurred between the start and end of the study. Of the 20,000 genes measured for methylation, 4,000 genes were directly and positively affected by exercise. So just by this exercise, of the 20,000 genes measured, so there could have been some other ones that weren't measured that could also be affected by exercise. But of the ones that they did measure, of the 20,000 they did measure, over the 4,000 of them were positively affected. It says the correlation between exercise and epigenetic changes were closely linked to methylation. Many of the same genes that experienced increased methylation during the study were responsible for the metabolism of carbohydrates and skeletal muscle adaptation. On the other hand, the genes that had an opposite reaction, that is, they had decreasing methylation, were closely linked to biological inflammation. So again, that helps us to understand that exercise helps decrease inflammation. Inflammation is the basis for many, many diseases that we see people suffering from. It went on to say that ultimately research is proving that what we already know, exercise is good for you. When you exercise, you improve metabolic function, muscle health, and integrity, even your ability to avoid chronic or degenerative disease. Specifically, endurance, like aerobic training, like walking, has a direct effect on the overall health of your body, including the degree of inflammation within it. So again, the article goes on to point out a brief article on the benefits of exercise. This new study basically telling us what, as the article pointed out, what we pretty much already knew. It just shows us that if you want to affect your genes positively, get out and start exercising. I would recommend at least an hour per day, I would say. And indoor exercise is okay, but outdoor exercise is much, much better if you can get it. Thank you for listening. This is a quick wellness news nugget. Dr. Keith Henry. Until next time, blessings.